So that is absolutely something that I try to keep in mind when I am going through some situations and I feel like God is testing me. I want to say that it's because He loves me and He's concerned about my growth, and there's something that I'm supposed to learn from this situation. Yeah. So verses 13 through 15. Happy is the man who finds wisdom and the man who gains understanding, for her proceeds are better than the profits of silver, and her gain than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things you may desire cannot compare with her. Length of days, going on to verse 16. Length of days is in her right hand, in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her, and happy are all who retain her. That is basically telling you the benefits of being wise. And let me tell you about a translation of the Bible. If you're not familiar with the Message, you absolutely, if you don't buy a version, you can actually read it online. I usually read it at BibleGateway.com. They have almost all of the different versions of the Bible, even in Spanish. And it is just a very, very plain scripture, translation of the Bible. And a lot of times it makes me laugh, because it is funny. And I think I'm going to read. Okay. So it says, "You're blessed when you meet Lady Wisdom. When you make friends with Madam Insight, she's worth far more than money in the bank. Her friendship is better than a big salary. Her value exceeds all the trappings of wealth. Nothing you could wish for holds a candle to her. With one hand she gives long life, with the other she confers recognition. Her manner is beautiful, her life wonderfully complete. She's the very tree of life to those who embrace her. Hold her tight and be blessed." Isn't that an awesome, sweet way of characterizing wisdom and how it can benefit and bless our life? If nothing else that you read makes you want to be wise, that scripture right there that portion of scripture should make you, really feel like, oh my God, being wise is something that I absolutely need to do. When I was thinking about verse 15, she is more precious than rubies, and all the things you may desire cannot compare to her. I get these really strange analogies or things that I think about. When I thought about verse 15, I thought about Bernie Madoff, and I was thinking if he would have just exercised wisdom and discretion, which is, we talk about that actually later on in chapter 3, he would have realized that being wise, being honest, being upright in his dealings was worth far more than, the instant trappings or the instant wealth that he received. And as a result, he's in jail for 150 years. Really? Ugh. Was it really worth it? Was that temporary, all that money that you had and able to go wherever you want to go and that sort of thing, and now you can't go anywhere you want to go? Was that really worth it just so you could have some money at the time? So I don't know, that just sort of made me think of him and that whole situation, and to not want to be that way, to not want to be so consumed in thinking so much about monetary wealth and materialistic possessions that I end up losing my soul, or and when I say soul, not necessarily my relationship with Christ, but just losing who I am to get something that I feel like I want to get at that time, and forsake wisdom in trying to do that. In verses 16 through 18, I wrote down that wisdom and obedience bring long life and success. And that's essentially what it's saying. If you're obedient to God and what He tells you to do, and you learn and exercise wisdom, you will have long life and success. That is all throughout the Bible. Wisdom and obedience brings long life and success. And I also thought that if you look at this time and we're in this economic recession and those sorts of things, it's the wise, it's those that exercise wisdom, it's those that seek knowledge and seek God and seek wisdom that are really being sustained through this recession. Does that mean that they have a job right now? Maybe not, but somehow their bills are getting paid. Does it mean that they're in the field that they originally trained in? Maybe not, but they're still able to support themselves and their family. Wisdom sustains you. Wisdom, just like I just said, brings long life and success. Verses 19 through 20, the Lord by wisdom founded the earth, by understanding he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths were broken up, and clouds dropped down the dew. When I thought of this scripture, the one thing that immediately came to mind is that nothing that God has made was haphazard. He didn't just arbitrarily do any of these things. He used wisdom. He didn't just say, oh, today's the first day, I think I'm gonna make animals. Like he thought about what he was going to make, how he was going to make it, and when he was going to make it. In verse 26, which I think is probably my favorite verse in this whole scripture, and that I have committed to memory and I will forever remember it. For the Lord will be your confidence. I could stop the tape right there once again. The Lord will be your confidence. And you know that, you feel that, you remember that, you know that up here. But I had to be reminded of that here in my heart. The Lord will be your confidence. He absolutely will be. And I just think about any great work that has been done in this country, in the Bible, for God. Whoever God chooses to use, they absolutely had to have the Lord as their confidence. I immediately thought of Moses, who had a speech impediment, stuttering problem, I believe, and he just said, well, Lord, who am I to go to Pharaoh and tell him to let the people go? Like, who should I say sent me? I'm just this little slave boy. I got this speech impediment. I think something was wrong with his hand. Like, Moses just had issues. He was not some commanding figure. But God said, you tell him that I am sent you. And that is the Lord being your confidence. That is, taking that scripture to heart means that whenever you're faced with a situation, whenever you walk into a situation, you're able to go in it with confidence, with what my pastor and friends call holy boldness, to be able to say some things and to do some things and to command some respect and some attention in certain situations. And I just urge any of you, if you don't feel confident, read the scripture. If you have to read it every morning, if you have to commit it to memory, if you have to put it on an index card and hang it from your mirror in the bathroom, for the Lord will be your confidence. That is a good word right there. That is a word of promise. That is something that will sustain you in a lot of situations. Okay, the other part I wanted to read. I think this is going to be a 2-part video. What you think? And out of the Message Bible is verse 27, I think. Yeah. I'm going to read. No, I don't want to read that. Okay. What I want to read, because this is good stuff, is Proverbs 3, starting at verse 30, out of the Message translation. And it says, don't walk around with a chip on your shoulder, always spoiling for a fight. Don't try to be like those who shoulder their way through life. And that basically means, brushing up against people and just bombarding their way through, just knocking people down and over to get where and what they want. It says, why be a bully? Why not, you say? because God can't stand twisted souls. Oh my God, I laughed at that because twisted is one of my words. I say that a lot. It's the straightforward who gets his respect. That is absolutely the truth. In the King James or New King James, it says, "Do not strive with a man without cause, if he has done you no harm. Do not envy the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the perverse person is an abomination to the Lord, but his secret counsel is with the upright." But that Message translation right there, don't walk around with a chip on your shoulder. God can't stand twisted souls. Tell somebody that if they're acting twisted. And then, I don't know, the last verses in these Proverbs, man, they be getting you. They be like, look, I know I was kind of sugary with it or whatever, but here, this basically, this right here, you can take this to the bank. In the New King James, it says, "The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the legacy of fools." That one right there is kind of funny. But in the Message Bible, it says, "Wise living gets rewarded with honor. Stupid living gets the booby prize." Now, if that doesn't make you want wisdom and see the value of us reading the book of Proverbs in the month of December, I don't know what will. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm going to try to go back between tonight and tomorrow and start commenting back on those of you who have left comments already. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. I just got so much out of this third chapter of the book of Proverbs. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. And yeah, the fourth and the fifth and the sixth chapters, boy, like they really go in on us sisters on that. But we're strong enough to take it and to be able to see ourselves and to grow from that. So I look forward to being able to share that with you in just a few minutes. All right, you all take care and be blessed. Leave your comments below and your questions or anything like that. Take care. I love y'all. Bye.